I spent 40 years sleeping next to a stranger. And the worst part? I chose it. My name is Thomas. I am 74 years old. I am sitting in a house that is silent except for the ticking of a clock my wife, Patricia, bought 30 years ago. She died 6 months ago. Cancer. Everyone said I must be devastated. I nodded. I played the part of the grieving widower. But the truth, the terrible, shameful truth, is that I felt relief. Not because she was gone, but because I no longer had to pretend. For 42 years, I pretended to be in love. I pretended that duty was the same as devotion. I pretended that a good partnership on paper could fill the hole where passion should have been. And now, with 1 hour left before I take the pills the doctor didn't prescribe but I've been saving, I finally have to say out loud, I married the wrong person. And in doing so, I wasted 2 lives, hers and mine. If you're listening to this, and you are staying with someone because it's comfortable or because leaving would be complicated, please, listen closely. If you want to learn from my scars so you don't have to die with the ghost of an unlived love haunting you, join this community by subscribing. It's a promise to your future self that you will choose courage over convenience. It started with cowardice, not the dramatic kind, the quiet, socially acceptable kind. I was 26. It was 1978. I was working at my father's accounting firm, living the life that had been drawn in blueprint before I was even born. And then I met her, not Patricia, the other her. Her name was Isabelle. I met Isabelle at a bookstore. She was reading Neruda. I was pretending to understand Sartre. She looked up, caught me staring, and said, "You know he's full of shit, right?" I laughed so hard I knocked over a display. We talked for 3 hours. We went to a diner. We watched the sunrise from a park bench. She was an artist, a sculptor. She lived in a studio apartment that smelled like clay and turpentine. She wore overalls with paint stains. She smoked cigarettes and talked about moving to Italy. She was everything my parents would hate. And I loved her so violently it terrified me. We dated for 8 months. 8 months of feeling like I was finally awake. Like I'd been sleepwalking through my life until she grabbed my hand and pulled me into color. She challenged me. She made me laugh. She made me want to be braver, wilder, more honest. I was going to propose. I had a ring, a tiny, cheap ring I'd saved for. I was going to do it on a Tuesday night in her messy apartment. No plan, no performance, just us. But what happened next destroyed everything I thought I knew about love. My father called me into his office on Monday. He sat me down. He said, "Thomas, I need to talk to you about this girl you're seeing, Isabelle." He said her name like it was a stain. He said, "She's not suitable. She has no family money, no education, no prospects. You're not a child anymore. It's time to be serious. Patricia Whitmore is interested in you. Good family, stable. Her father plays golf with the mayor. That's a real future. Son, not some bohemian fantasy." I said, weak, pathetic, but I love Isabelle. He said, and this line is carved into my brain like a scar, "Love is a luxury, Thomas. Marriage is a business. Choose wisely." I was 26. I was a coward. I chose the business. I broke up with Isabelle that Tuesday, the night I was supposed to propose. I told her, "I think we're too different. I don't see a future here." I didn't tell her about my father. I didn't tell her about Patricia. I just ended it. She cried. She asked, "Is there someone else?" I lied. I said no. She said, "You're lying, Thomas. I see it in your face. You're scared. You're choosing the safe life over the real one, and you're going to regret it." I told her she was being dramatic. I walked out. I never saw her again. I married Patricia 8 months later. Big wedding. Country club. My father cried with pride. Patricia was lovely, truly, intelligent, organized, kind in the distant, polite way that people are kind to co-workers. We had a nice life, nice house, nice dinners, nice conversations about mortgages and retirement plans. We had 2 children. We raised them well. We never fought, but we also never laughed until we couldn't breathe. We never danced in the kitchen. We never stayed up all night talking about dreams. We performed marriage. We didn't live it. The gradual loss was invisible because there was nothing dramatic to lose. No fights, no affairs, just absence. I would lie next to Patricia at night, and I would think about Isabelle. For 42 years, I thought about her. I wondered where she went, if she made it to Italy, if she found someone braver than me. I hated myself for wondering. I told myself I'd made the right choice, the responsible choice. But late at night, alone with my thoughts, I knew the truth. I'd made the coward's choice. If this story feels heavy in your chest, please share it. Send it to the person who's staying, because leaving is hard. The person who thinks comfortable is close enough to happy. You might save someone who is making the same mistake right now. Someone who doesn't realize that you can't negotiate with regret. The realization hit me 3 weeks ago. I was cleaning out Patricia's things. Donations, estate stuff. In the back of her closet, I found a box. In it, letters. Letters from a man named David. Dozens of them. From the early 90s. Love letters. Poetic, passionate, raw. Letters Patricia had saved. Letters from someone who clearly adored her in a way I never did. The last letter, dated 1994, said, "I understand you can't leave him, but please know you were the love of my life. I hope he sees you the way I do." I sat on the closet floor, holding those letters, and I realized she had an Isabelle too. She had someone who made her feel alive, and she chose duty, just like I did. We spent 42 years in a mutual prison of politeness, both of us haunting our own marriage, thinking about the ones who got away. And now she's gone, and I found a phone number. It took 2 weeks of searching, hiring a private investigator, but I found her, Isabelle. She's 72. She lives in Vermont. She never married. She became a sculptor. She had shows in Europe. She did everything she said she would. She was brave. I was not, if I had only 1 hour left. And I do. I've made my decision. The pills are on the table. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of carrying this weight into whatever comes next. But first, I'm going to call her. One last act of honesty. I'm going to say, "Isabelle, it's Thomas. I know it's been 50 years. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to tell you something before I go. You were right. I chose the safe life, and I regretted it every single day. You were the love of my life, the only real one. I was too scared to fight for you. I'm sorry. I'm so deeply sorry. I hope your life has been everything you dreamed. I hope someone loved you the way I should have. I hope you never thought of me, because you deserve so much better than the coward I was." And then I'll listen. Maybe she'll hang up. Maybe she'll cry. Maybe she'll scream. I don't know, but I need her to know she wasn't a phase. She wasn't a mistake. She was the road I should have taken. And I've spent 50 years walking the wrong one. I will spend my final hour not as Thomas the accountant, Thomas the responsible husband, but as Tommy, the boy who loved a girl who wore paint-stained overalls, the boy who was too afraid to be happy. My friend, you who are listening, look at the person next to you. Do they make your soul sing? Or are you just comfortable? Comfortable is not the same as alive. Safe is not the same as happy. If you're staying because leaving is hard, I understand. But let me tell you, staying is harder. Staying and pretending is a slow death. Now, I ask you, if you had only 1 hour left, would you call the person you let go? The one you think about when you're alone? What would you say? Tell me in the comments. Let's make this comment section a library of truth, a testament to the loves we will no longer sacrifice for comfort. Write the name, write what you'd say, and then, please, if they're still alive, if there's still time, send it. The phone is in my hand. Her number is on the screen. My hand is shaking. I'm going to press call. Goodbye. And please, be brave. Choose love, even when it's terrifying.